Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever have been eliminated from playoff contention. So with her rookie season officially over, I thought it would be the perfect time to step back and analyze what we observed with Caitlin Clark this season. Specifically, how her performance played right into the racial dynamics that define so much of American life. This isn't about basketball, or I should say, this isn't just about basketball. It's about race. And in America, everything is about race. It is embedded into everything we see and everything that we do. And I may address this on a later podcast and really delve into this idea of how everything is about race. And that's not just Black people complaining. Historically, I can show you that literally every part of American life had race embedded into it, and it wasn't by Black people. But first, let's take a moment to acknowledge Caitlin Clark's incredible rookie season in the WNBA. Now, Clark was named Rookie of the Year in the WNBA, and frankly, it should have been unanimous. One person voted for Angel Reese instead, but that certainly seemed like a protest vote to me, more than anything that's based on statistics or logic. Now, while it is true during the middle of the season, Reese was putting up historic numbers, but by the end of the season, it was clear Caitlin Clark had clearly outpaced her. And of course, Angel Reese got injured, and her injury kept her from finishing the season strong. So statistically, there was no real comparison here. Caitlin Clark set records. She became the first WNBA rookie to record a triple-double, 2 triple-doubles. She broke the rookie season scoring record, leading the league in assists and becoming a pivotal player for the Indiana Fever, who made it to the playoff for the first time in years. You could even argue that she had one of the best rookie seasons in WNBA history. I think if you look at the whole, Candace Parker had a better rookie season. Candace Parker was voted not only Rookie of the Year, but MVP in the same season, her rookie season. So I think Candace was more dominant in her rookie season. But anybody that wants to argue that Caitlin Clark's rookie season was the best ever, it's not a totally outrageous argument. I just happen to disagree. But Caitlin Clark undeniably had an outstanding season. But let's look at why Caitlin Clark's rookie season is about more than just basketball. It's about race. Yes, race. On both sides, Black and white. There has been a refusal to admit the full truth about Caitlin Clark. And that is because race is central to how people view her. Let's start with the fact that her Rookie of the Year vote wasn't unanimous, which is what I just mentioned. It should have been. She earned it. Statistically and by impact, she earned it. But because someone couldn't bring themselves to give her that unanimous vote, that decision was not about basketball, I can tell you that. I don't know if it was about race, because the vote for the WNBA Rookie of the Year is anonymous, and we would only know who the one vote was if that person decided to come forward. I doubt that's going to happen. So for some reason, someone who is supposed to be an expert in analyzing basketball and statistics went against what the observable evidence showed. You tell me what it was about then. Now, on the other hand, we have white fans out here claiming that Caitlin Clark is the best player ever in the WNBA. Not just the best rookie, the best player in the entire league. Folks, stop. Y'all stop that. That's simply not true. She had more turnovers than anyone in the league. By a far stretch, number 2 in turnovers wasn't even close. And Caitlin Clark did not get one vote for MVP this year. A'ja Wilson was the unanimous MVP, and she should have been. Look at the stats. So people out here, white people out here saying that Caitlin Clark is the best player ever are being driven by something other than objective basketball analysis. That's their whiteness that is speaking. Now, why am I saying this? I'm not telling you anything that you don't know and that you can't observe about American life. It is because race is at the heart of it. The WNBA has never had this much attention from white fans. And the reason is simple. This year, the rookie on the scene is white. That's why. Now, in previous years, when the league was dominated by black players, where were the white fans? So let's not pretend this sudden attention from white fans isn't about race. Look, folks, I only have 30 minutes in this podcast. We don't have time to sit around here and act like we don't know what's going on. The issue with Caitlin Clark is a reflection of America's broader racial dynamics. White people flock to support her because she's white. And black people were reluctant to give her credit that she's due because she's white. You know, it's reminiscent of the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rivalry from the late 70s and early 80s when I was a very small child, but when most white people were rooting for Larry Bird and the Celtics, and most black people were rooting for the Lakers and Magic Johnson. Why? Well, because it was, and it is now, about race. Now, black people have long been told that we're not smart enough, not disciplined enough, not intelligent enough, not beautiful enough, simply not enough. That is the historical backdrop in this country. So you better believe when a black athlete excels, when a black academic excels, you better believe I'm rooting for them. When I pull up to the television and a black person is on Jeopardy, I'm rooting for the black person. When a black person is on Wheel of Fortune, which is part luck, part intelligence, I'm rooting for them. Why? Because when we win, it is a direct challenge to the narrative this country has pushed about us for centuries. But I have to ask, when white people root for white people, what's that about? What's the motivation? And I can't answer that as someone who is not white. No one has ever said that white people can't excel in America. No one has ever said that they aren't capable of being leaders. They aren't capable of playing sports. They aren't capable of being great athletes. They aren't capable of being stars. No one has said that. So why are so many white fans latching on to Caitlin Clark in this way? It is something worth thinking about. And that's why this whole debate around Caitlin Clark is so loaded with racial undertones. White fans wildly exaggerating Caitlin Clark's abilities, and black fans refusing to give her credit because they don't want to validate the unrealistic hype from white fans. And it seems that both sides might be missing part of the point. If we're honest, the surge in attention that she has brought to the WNBA has everything to do with race. White fans are showing up now because they see someone who looks like them excelling in a league that's predominantly black. That's just the reality, whether we like it or not. And you can say there have been better players before her that should have gotten equal or more attention and notoriety, and that's probably true, but they didn't bring the same level of white attention to the league, and it is what it is. And with that white attention comes viewership and money. But we need to understand why race matters so much in these conversations. Because at the end of the day, this is a conversation about more than just basketball. It's about how race impacts everything we do in this country. Sports are no exception. And unfortunately, somehow it gets in the way of our objectivity and is the cause of our inability to acknowledge the truth, the observable truth. So this Caitlin Clark story, this season has brought to light a lot of things about race in America. White fans wanting her to be the best ever because she represents something more to them. And black fans, in some cases, not wanting to give her credit because they don't want to feed into that narrative. But the observable truth is, Caitlin Clark is an excellent player. She had a phenomenal season. She deserved to be Rookie of the Year, unanimous for that matter. But we have to be honest about the racial dynamics that made this season and her performance such a lightning rod for attention and debate. And that is America. And in America, everything is about race. And the sooner we admit that, the closer we'll be to repairing what is clearly a society divided.